Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE and compare it against the iPhone 16 and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, between both of these phones, I will definitely tell you there are some pros and cons between both. The iPhone 16 right now is the more expensive phone than the S24 FE, but let's go and see how both they compare. If you want to pick up either one of these phones for the cheapest prices I find, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now taking a look at the outside, the iPhone 16, which literally just came out, on the front side of this phone is giving you a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And with this type of panel, it's a pretty good panel for the most part. It looks good. There's not really like a lot of things to complain about here, but there's one specific thing that I'm not really a big fan of, and that is the 60 Hz display. I kind of do feel like, Apple could have done a little bit of a better job here. It's still a great looking panel, like it still looks very good. It gets like slightly brighter than the S24 FE, I think, but you are getting the dynamic island, a little bit of bezel around it, nothing too crazy, but yeah, I would really wish this panel had like a 120 Hz panel, and that's kind of the biggest downside of the panel on this particular phone. Now, on something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE, this is a much bigger phone, so it's giving you a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. So this phone itself is actually pretty decent. It's a better panel, I would say, overall, because it is giving you a 120 Hz display, which is a very nice thing to have. I'm such a big fan of 120 Hz displays, and this thing, by giving you that, is a very, very nice thing to have at the end of the day. You're getting the hole punch display up here, pretty thin bezels around it, much bigger phone. It definitely feels like a much bigger phone, so definitely keep that in mind. For the rest of the bodies, they're built almost like the exact same way, like they both have like the same type of feeling on the sides. The iPhone 16 is giving you the action button right here, which is really cool. Both have USB Type-C ports on the bottom, which is a really nice thing to have. On the other side, you are getting a dedicated camera button on the iPhone 16, which actually allows you to like zoom in and zoom out within it, which again is a very nice thing to have. The iPhone 16 has it, the S24 FE does not. Volume buttons, power buttons here, all throughout. On the back side, a little bit of a difference here as well. The S24 FE is giving you this triple camera setup with a standard glass back, where the iPhone 16 is giving you a dual camera setup with a frosted glass back. So this also is like a slight difference here, because as you probably would have expected, you're getting the overall better feeling phone, I would say, on something like the iPhone 16, but I do like the S24 FE for giving us this triple camera setup, which I really, really do like at the end of the day. So for both of these from that particular side, that kind of covers it up here for the most part as well. Now, in terms of software longevity, both these phones are going to be supported with software for many, many years to come, but I would probably say with something like the iPhone 16, this one may still end up being one of the phones that ends up lasting a longer period of time. Again, it's very hard to tell as of this point because there's still going to be like a lot of flip-flopping and stuff, but I would probably say that when it comes down to both, you're probably going to be getting a phone on the iPhone 16 that might end up lasting like slightly longer than the Galaxy S24 FE, but both are going to still be supported for a couple more years, and there's not really like too many things to complain about there. But if I were to go and pick up one, it'd probably be the iPhone 16 for lasting longer. But the S24 FE, for being a somewhat cheaper phone, is still going to be lasting for many, many years to come as well. Like this thing is going to be lasting probably like almost the same time as the iPhone 16, probably. Maybe not as long, but very, very close. So I think that's another very big thing to keep in mind there too. Now let's go and do speed comparison between both these phones. The S24 FE has that Exynos 2400E chipset inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM inside of it, where the iPhone 16 has that Apple A18 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, so let us get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, totally messed that first one up. Let's go hop out of here. Let's get into their cameras. 3, 2, 1. Okay, nothing super crazy here. Let's go into their Play Stores, 3, 2, 1. So the S24 FE is probably going to be the faster one in that side. It's always really fast to load up the Google Play Store versus like the iPhone App Store. Scrolling through here, both seem smooth, but the S24 FE does seem a little bit more snappier from that side. Hopping out of both of these, let's go into like Subway Surfers, 3, 2, 1. Now these are pretty basic applications, so let's go and see which one's the faster one. So kind of the same, really not that big of a difference there. We did have a different pop-up on the iPhone 16, so keep that in mind. But both are looking to be pretty fast here for the most part, so not that big of a difference here. Hopping out of both, let's go ahead and do stack, 3, 2, 1. And within this one, I think the S24 FE was just slightly faster there, but the iPhone 16 did load into this one up a little bit faster, so that was just a nicer little experience there. Getting outside of both of these, let's get into another one. Let's get into Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Let's get into Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And within this one, you can kind of see that the S24 FE may have been a slightly faster one there, but it's very close. The iPhone 16 is literally like right behind it. And you can see, yeah, the S24 FE just like a little bit faster, but again, not like that the biggest deal in the world or anything like that. It's very, very close. Getting outside of this one, let's get into another one. Let's get into, so we did Subway Surfers. Let's do the original Temple Run, which I actually don't have here. We can do something, I'll tell you like this between both. If you're going to go and like pick up one over the other one based on the performance, I probably wouldn't do that. The performance is very, very similar. There's not really like too many differences here. And I do think that's a very big thing to keep in mind, right? If you're going to pick up one phone over the other one just based on the performance, I don't really think that's a great idea because they're both very, very similar when it kind of comes down to it. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. Now from the camera side, this is a very interesting thing because between both, you're getting obviously different types of camera setups. Triple camera setup here, dual camera setup on the iPhone 16. Now, you're getting 4K at 60 on the front and the back of both, but the Galaxy S24 FE has the capability of having 8K capability on the back, which is a very, very nice feature set to have. And personally, if I'm going to pick up a phone, I love having that type of capability. Now, if you're going to go and pick up this sensor, the big thing to keep in mind here is that with something like the S24 FE, this camera is still very, very good. Although it isn't supposed to be like the flagship replacement, you're still getting a lot of features, overlapping. So with the S24 FE, you're getting basically a 30x zoom. With the iPhone 16, you're getting 10x zoom. So that right there is like another slight difference, nothing super crazy. You're getting portrait mode on both. You're kind of getting the same overlapping features, honestly, because you're getting like, slow motion, you're getting dual recording. I guess the iPhone 16 doesn't have it. You're getting hyperlapse, you're getting portrait video. So lots of overlap here too. I don't know if like one camera necessarily has way more features than the other one, but I'd probably say that something like the iPhone 16 probably does have more features at the end of the day than something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. So I think this in and of itself is another pretty big thing to keep in mind there too. Now, overall, what I'll probably tell you is that if you're going to go and pick up either one of these, I think the S24 FE kind of has more flagship features than the iPhone 16. Like, you're getting a bigger 120Hz display, you're getting reverse wireless charging, you're getting 8K capability. I'm very surprised about Apple kind of making the iPhone 16 not that big of an improvement. Really, the only advantage I can think of the iPhone 16 is maybe like the dedicated camera button that might be nice for some people. And I don't really know where this iPhone is better necessarily than the Galaxy S24 FE. Maybe like a performance stability side, maybe a longer lasting phone on this one too in the Apple ecosystem. Beyond that, you're not really seeing like big massive improvements here. Like, I think I'm very surprised about the S24 FE, which honestly wasn't even that big of a difference from its previous generation. But it just goes to show with the iPhone 16, like kind of what Apple's doing. They're not really improving these phones as much as they could be, in my personal opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up here for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.